No women, no children. Scarface told us this. No women, no children. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about it. Welcome, guys. Happy Saturday. If you're new to this channel and to me, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button because you're going to love this content. You're going to love this video. Right now, this is actually a deviation from what I normally do. I normally do self-help, self-discovery type content. But today, we're on my favorite subject, which is something I'm very passionate about, which is hip-hop. It's basically talking about the state of hip-hop, or state of affairs in hip-hop. So just go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the like button because you're going to love it. Today's video, unless you've been under a rock or living in a closet or something, you guys already know what's going on with T.I and 50 Cent and his family, T.I.'s family. You know that they're beefing, and the beef just took a completely wild turn a couple days ago when Domani, which is T.I.'s son, stepped into the battle and basically surgically tortured 50, I would just say. So just to give you guys a backstory, those who are not up to events, you know, those who don't listen to hip hop or whatnot and still listen to this channel, I'm going to basically tell you why this is an important subject to me, because it has everything to do with what I talk about on a constant basis, and that is legacy. So, as you guys know, just to give you a backstory of everything, 50 Cent doesn't have a mom. However, as of recently, he went out of his character and out of his way to disrespect Tiny, who is T.I.'s wife and the mother of, you know, a good part of his kids. And with that being said, you know, things have pretty much gone crazy and viral from there. So we've had King crash out, we've had T.I and his diss records, and you know, he's gone in on 50, you know, very disrespectfully, as he should. King crashed out and did a couple songs and said some pretty vile things to 50 about his mom, who I just stated is no longer here. You know, may she rest. And then a couple days ago, like I said, Domani pops up and he goes in on 50 on a different level. He levels out a disrespect to 50 through his mom. So basically, not verbatim, he went as far as saying, hey, Ms. Jackson, what's up with your son? I really question his character. I really question the person that you sacrifice your life for. I need you to help me understand how I need to talk to him, because he out of pocket. He basically disrespected, you know, my stepmother, and I mean, he needs to be learned a lesson. Now, obviously, you know, it was a little bit more disrespectful and a little bit more vile the way he said it. but he, he did it in the most respectful yet vicious way. Um, and then the second verse, of course, he went as far as calling 50 Firebug. Now, that's not like any subliminal or nothing. It is a subliminal, but it's not a known subliminal. But this is what I'll give you as far as a backstory. Allegedly, now, allegedly, this has not been made to be true, but it's sounding pretty true or sounding kind of, you know, 50 went as far, or his baby moms, I say, went as far as to say that 50 tried to kill her and Marquise, who is 50's oldest son, in a house fire. She woke up in the middle of the night. Half of the house was on fire and they had to run out of there and everything. And she believed that 50 himself or somebody associated with 50 did the act. And she has good reason to believe that it was 50 Cent that was involved. Now, with that being said, that's where the whole Firebug symbolic wordplay came into hand. Basically saying that 50 doesn't care about family because he went as far as to disrespect the Harris family's, matriarch. So it's to say that if he doesn't care about his matriarch, he doesn't have a mom, he doesn't have even a father. What does he know about family, and why would he care about anybody's family? He probably even tried to assassinate his own family. Kind of basically questioning 50's character and the whole thing about him trolling online and using basically, just memes and being a bully and making a profit off of our pain, with the whole selling us alcohol, but you're not an alcoholic or nothing. You pride yourself at being, sober and clean of that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, you're selling alcohol to basically poison us and everything. So just basically literally just ripping 50 a new one just to kind of like question his character. Now, with all that being said, I have to just draw something in the sand for you. Like, T.I. raised some good kids. At least, he put the right thing in their head to do far as basically protecting their queen, their circle, their household, their matriarch, their standing on business type stuff, family business at that. Now, I can't completely be mad at that at all. I did a video this morning. It's my early morning thoughts that I always do. I basically said this morning, and then leading to the premise of why I did this video, no women, no children. No women, no children. So this has been kind of like a common theme in hip hop. A common theme. Because as you know, if you've been following hip hop, at least in some aspect, you saw what Drake and Kendrick was into. And even before that, you saw what Pusha and Drake was into. Drake went out of his way to disrespect Pusha T's baby mom or his wife. So with that being said, I can't remember exactly who started the whole back and forth of family members in Drake and Kendrick battle, but needless to say, we know Kendrick didn't take light to his family being disrespected. So he went as far as doing the Meet the Grams, which the Meet the Grams was just as surgical as Domani's surgical attack on 50, basically breaking down his character. This is Kendrick breaking down Drake's character. Now, 50 is also, infamous for now doing this Diddy doc where he basically point out Diddy's flaws about how Diddy handled women. Now, to be honest with you, I haven't even finished the Diddy doc. I wanted to finish it. I just got caught up in some other stuff, so I just never got to it. I only seen, I believe, the first episode, maybe a little part of the other episode, and I didn't ever get back to it. But we all know what Diddy did. Common theme, women. Now, I've been speaking very highly on the whole kid thing because here's the thing about me and kids. I don't have kids. So I'm very passionate about kids because it's like, I wish I had kids to even defend, to that, just to be able to say, I have, a legacy to protect. But my legacy, or I guess what I hold at high regard, is my grandkids. I hold my nieces and nephews and stuff at account. But as far as like the women in my life is my mom and my wife. And if anybody disrespected them, you better believe I'm gonna be on them like how T.I.'s family was. So I just have to get back to the root of what it is that these dudes out here doing. What is your brand? And I know this is so off key of what what I'm talking about, but I'm going somewhere with this, so just follow me. But what is your brand? Think about it for a second. You have to think. Again, these are people that, I'm talking about hip hop. At one point or another, these guys are my heroes. These are people that I follow because I'm very passionate about what they're doing and how successful they got. And it's like, I wanted to be like you guys at one point. I wanted to be like you guys. I mean, I very much look up to Drake. I mean, Drake, he made music for women, and for him to, I guess in some ways he had his own levels of disrespect toward women. I mean, he's been known for that. Man, I mean, I'm not gonna like say if I believe or don't believe it. I mean, you shouldn't even be in the center of it if it ain't your brand. The Diddy shit, that just goes without saying. It's like, dude, come on. What is your brand? He was a billionaire, practically. He's a billionaire. And you out here fouling up with women? You could have any woman you had any woman you want, but you gonna fuck your brand up for because you're a freaky fuck. And then now 50. I mean, again, allegedly, but the whole, like, I respect 50. I watch all his, well, I ain't gonna say all his shows, but well, yeah, like the whole, I mean, I ain't watched every movie he's done or whatever, but I've watched Power. That's like my favorite show. I did follow BMF, before they canceled it. So is just to say, like, I respect this dude's brand, I respect this dude's hustle, and for you to, I guess, go out of character. Well, first of all, you troll all the time. He does troll all the time, so that's just becoming like old and washed up. But now you over here, I guess, disrespecting, you know, T.I.'s wife when all he wanted you to do was a versus. It's like, what are we doing? So I don't know. I mean, well, and the only reason why I brought up the whole brand thing is like, how far do you have to go to I guess uh protect your brand, or how far do you go to enforce your brand, where you start disrespecting legacies and you start, you know, slapping around women and violating children and all of that. Just whatever. I mean, I guess I'm just trying to understand the mindset of these dudes that at one point or another I used to call heroes. No women, no children. And I guess the other part of the game is this is this is stuff that in our culture we made it almost like a unwritten but known rule. Like, this is Scarface shit. And you saw what happened when well, he, I guess Scarface enforced that rule. He didn't want to do it, and of course it led to his demise. But I guess in his case, I guess if you was gonna play the game, you should have just played it all the way through. I mean, not to condone that life, but I'm just, you know, those who've seen Scarface, you know what I'm getting at. It's like how you have of a moral code when you're in a drug game. It's like, I guess in that aspect, you know, it's almost like you're all in for everything else and you're not all in to do the crime like that. I guess you should have did what you needed to do if you was gonna go as far as you were. But I would just say, like, we talking about hip hop now. We're talking about hip hop. You ain't gotta sell drugs no more. You ain't gotta kill people. You ain't gotta violate nobody. You ain't gotta rape nobody. You ain't gotta do all of this. No women, no children. I just recently lost my niece's cousin. A 17-year-old girl is no longer here on this earth because some sick ass fuck wanted to coerce her or solicit her or finesse her through fucking some online game. No women, no children. So, needless to say, you get where I'm going with this. So, I guess to end this or top it off, again, shout outs to the Harris boys for standing up for their mom, because that was dope. Good job. Stand up, you know, stand up for yours. And you know, good job to T.I for standing up for his wife. He stood on business with his family. He raised some good kids. So I don't know, like, when I start like looking at people, you know, like, I guess I started like looking at the people that I considered heroes at one point, You know, you can be proud of some, or like maybe a small percent of them, but then the other ones, you got to be like, what the hell are you doing, bro? What are you doing? Diddy. I mean, not quite yet. It hasn't come to the surface, but I mean, you know, I'll just say like this. 50 was wrong for definitely coming out his face and saying something about Tiny. He was wrong. Then he, you know, just if all the stuff comes to be true, you definitely wrong. And you over here doing a Diddy doc. And then as far as, you know, I guess like Drake, you know, just the areas and, you know, he's reached at and things that he said that he didn't need to say and stuff. So I guess I'm gonna leave it at that. Again, I'm gonna do these every Saturday because again, I feel like all of this stuff kind of has a round table and leads back to stuff that I do on my channel. So this is not the end of this, but this is just the end of this part. You know, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have videos over here that's you know, more insight of who I am as a content creator. As I always tell everybody, stay blessed, stay intentional, and stay dangerous because it is dangerous out there. You don't need to be careful. You need to be dangerous.